You fought well yesterday. Your style is unorthodox.
Scorpio.
Good morning, Yankees universe, and welcome back to another episode of the Yankees Morning Brew on this Tuesday, May 13th. Like always, I'm your guy Hector, joined by the compadre this morning. We got the lovely Grace Monroe, and all you Yankee fans, wake up and get your coffee. Grace, how you feeling today?
I want to say a big congratulations to New York Knickerbockers Nation out there. I did watch the game. I'm not a Knicks fan per se, but I love New York City, greatest city in the world, and a lot of my friends are Knicks fans. So of course, I'm pulling for the Knicks at this point. And great game last night. Really, really sorry to see about the injury that happened late, and the refs sucked. But other than that, the game was great. Congratulations to the Knicks, and hope they can close it out and head to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Grace, you put a smile on my face this morning because I was not expecting you to say that. W's in the chat for Grace Monroe. W's for Grace Monroe. I want to shout out the chat. But yeah, the injuries suck. Yes, the Knicks won. I don't root for anybody to get injured, and it's a perfect way to segue into our next conversation, talking about Oswaldo and his injury. I never want to root for anyone's injuries. I always want everybody to be healthy. I just feel it's good for competitive balance. And when it comes to the Yankees, Oswaldo Cabrera, he suffered an injury last night. It's most likely his ankle. I'm looking for like official reporting on it. It is his ankle. It came out. Hold on, I'm just trying to get something that's like a verified Jack Curry tweet on this. But yeah, Oswaldo Cabrera injured himself in that game. I got a video up for it. Aaron Judge said, this is what Aaron Judge said.
Well, let's shout out the chat first before we go into
shout
this,
out the chat. Let's shout out the chat. Let's shout out the chat. Let's shout out the chat. Shout out the chat before we continue. Keith Saunders is in the building. Jacob Petruzzi, how you doing? My man, Jonathan, salute. Theo Nosebleed section is in the building. Anna Marie, how you doing? Richie Squires is in the building. Shout out my guy, Richie Squires. I hope all is well. My brother, Mr. Keith Saunders is in the building. Keith, how you doing? Gilberto is in the building. Anna Marie, I appreciate you, Anna Marie. And Nathaniel Crenshaw, guys, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. When it comes to subscribers, we are over 5,200. I'm gonna give you guys the official count right now from the last time we was live. We are at 5,224 on the subscribers. Appreciate all the new subs. Keep on smacking that like button. But yeah, now into the conversation with Oswaldo Cabrera. I have a quote from Aaron Judge, and this is what he said after the game. Oswaldo, he said, he called me over and he asked, did I score? It kind of shows you the type of guy that he is. And this was Aaron Judge on Oswaldo Cabrera before he was being sent to the hospital. And Oswaldo has a special place in all of us Yankee fans' heart, especially mine, especially everybody that's on the chat. When it comes to what we do as content creators, Oswaldo was the first interview I got from an active Yankee player. The way that Oswaldo Cabrera makes himself available every day to the Latino media, every day to different content creators. When he goes to these autograph signings, the care that he has, he had one lined up June 19th in Jersey with Mama D's Empanada. That one is probably up in the air right now. But the way that he would show up and sign every autograph and introduce himself to every kid and put a smile on every kid's face and every parent's face. That's the type of person and player Oswaldo Cabrera is. And it sucked to see that injury. It sucked to see him in pain on the field. But hopefully we get some good news and maybe he could be back this year. I don't know. Knock on wood, spit in your hand, whatever you have to do, whatever superstitions you believe in, throw some salt over your shoulder. But Oswaldo, my man, I love you, bro. I wish you a speedy recovery, and every other Yankee fan out there, you felt it last night. The love that Yankee fans have for Oswaldo. Like I said, he is the Yankee Swiss Army man. He is our utility guy. And again, love you, bro. Wish you a speedy recovery.
If you're not a Yankees fan and you don't watch all the games, you might not understand what Oswaldo Cabrera means to the team. Y'all, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. But if you do, you know that he's the heart of the clubhouse.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes in every day smiling, giving, lifting his brothers up. He never complains. When he sits, he plays all over the field. And more than on the field as an athlete, it's his presence with his brothers. And if you're not a Yankees fan, you might look at his stats or the position that he plays, and you might equate that to, why are they that upset about this guy, But if you know what Oswaldo Cabrera means to not only the players, but the people who work at the stadium, the people who put out the food in the locker room. I mean, he treats everyone equally, right? Heck, I mean, that's what you say. Like, he makes himself available. Every fan who ever meets him says he is the most magnanimous, giving of his time, of his attention to every single person he meets. He treats everyone with love. He's just love. I always call him the golden retriever of the team.
Yeah.
Because if you've ever known a golden retriever, they're love all the time to every single person. Every person they meet, it's like, oh my gosh, you're the best person I've ever met. Oh my gosh, you're the best person I've ever met. Oh my gosh. I mean, and that to me is Oswaldo Cabrera. And they had the post-game interview with Grisham, who had an amazing game last night. Shout out to Trent Bonds, 2 home runs.
Trent Bonds
He's doing something crazy, which we're going to talk about. But he said this is a quote, he is the best of us. I'm talking about Oswaldo Cabrera. The best of us. I mean, that's how everybody feels. And it's about him as a person, maybe more than him as an athlete. His brotherhood, his love, you can't replace it. And everyone was devastated. I noticed, there's the interview he gave with Meredith where he said he's the best of us. He got a little choked up. He wiped a tear away. Later in the post-game interviews in the locker room, I noticed there was no music playing. Nobody was talking. It was like you could hear a pin drop in that locker room after the game. And again, that goes to show you what Oswaldo means to this team. And we care about wins. We care about World Series championships and all stuff. But these men are family. They spend every day together, so many hours a day for years. They're family, and they were gutted last night. And I do have a conspiracy theory, though, about the injury that I haven't heard anybody bring up, but I noticed it on my own. Heck, you made a video, a short, where Cabrera was ranging to his right in foul territory to catch a... Did you see on that run? He his ankle kind of wobbled a little bit. And he kept running. He made the catch. He popped up, and he stayed in the game. But then a couple innings later, when he was running home, that same ankle just gave out. So my conspiracy theory is that, he was a little shaky on that play he made in foul territory, and he stayed in the game. And then, of course, you know how, like, when you bite your lip once, then you bite it again that same day? It's kind of like that. Like, his ankle was already some type of way, and then it just, absolutely snapped. I don't want to speak out of turn because I want to believe in a miracle.
Same.
But I doubt we see Cabrera back this season. Prayers for him, for sure. Prayers for his surgeons, prayers for everything. I'm really choked up about it. Anyway.
I just want to say prayers also to the mother of his child, his fiance, his wife. She's amazing. I've met her in person. I've had conversations with her. I've sat in the stands with her during the game while Oswaldo is playing, and she's amazing. I wish her the best. Javier Velez, my man, Shout out to Javi. I haven't seen them in a minute, but it's somebody I want to bring up. Christopher Cancel. Shout out to Christopher in the chat who says, guys, chat in parentheses, please don't leave out in shadows. I'm a Mets fan, but no player deserves what happened to Oswaldo. So please tell me what happened. Did he faint? Did he collapse? No, not at all, Christopher.
Oh,
He was
sorry.
rounding third base going home, and right before he got home, it seems like his ankle broke out, or ankle gave out on him again. We don't have anything official from the Yankees, so everything is all speculation, but it was a real bad injury, Chris. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. Give me 2.3 seconds.
Yeah.
I want to just shout out everybody that's on Instagram watching us right now. We got my guy Iraldo, Evelyn 074, Jesse Grams is in the building. Abdullah Yankee fan, appreciate you. James Woody, Mama Stubby is in the building. Hit Squad on Instagram said, prayers for Oswaldo. I took my son to spring training 2 years ago. My son called his name and he walked over and he gave an autograph. He is the only guy that came over. Abdullah said, even a casual Yankee fan knows what Oswaldo means to the nation, Yankee Nation, even after last night. Somebody else said to Hit Squad, a literal representation of what it means to be a Yankee in the clubhouse and to the fans, talking about Oswaldo. If you're on Instagram, click the link in the bio. Come on over to YouTube to Uptown Sports TV. I'm sorry, Grace. It's just, sometimes people can't see the Instagram chat.
No, you're good. I just wanted to say that if you didn't see the injury, if you missed the injury, which we didn't explain, I'm sorry about that.
Or show. I refuse to show it. I refuse to show it. I'm not showing. That's why I didn't make it short and put it up and put it up. Yeah.
But what I was saying was he kind of was unstable on his ankle when he was ranging to his right to make a play in foul territory. A couple innings later, he was on third. Judge hit a sac fly. He tagged up and he was running home. He slid. His ankle looks like it turned completely the wrong way. He was laying out, didn't move. He crawled over to the home plate, tagged with his arm. And the Seattle Mariners trainers, shout out to them. They were on top of it. They ran right out. The Yankees trainers ran right out. And immediately you saw the Mariners trainer call for a cart. So right away, you knew it was going to be serious. And the Yankees trainer put a towel over Oswaldo's foot right away so that they couldn't close up on it on TV or anything like that. The trainers held him, rubbed his back, everything. The whole team came over and the cart came out. And then the cart went back and they actually called for an ambulance.
The ambulance, yeah.
So the ambulance came and they took him off in an ambulance on a stretcher. So, and that's all we know. So in case you missed it, that's kind of the gist of what happened. And I did want to say one more thing about Cabrera, and then I swear we're gonna be more positive. I remember when we had Frank Luna on the show, who knows Cabrera and knows a lot of the players, right? And I asked him backstage, and I don't think he would mind me telling this story. But I asked him backstage, so you've met, all these Yankees and everything. He's like, yeah. And I said, who's the nicest Yankee and why is it Oswaldo Cabrera? And he laughed and he goes, it is Oswaldo Cabrera. And I was like, I knew it. So anyway, I just wanted to say that story. And obviously we're all praying for him. And
Shout out to Lou in the chat, also 9-8 from over there at Mama D's Empanadas. He put it in the chat saying we're crushed over here in Sayersville, Mama D. Absolutely, Lou. And like you said, shout out to Frank Luna. Frank's my guy. Oswaldo is the nicest human being that's out there. Justin Shackle on the broadcast yesterday, he said it again. This is a quote from Justin Shackles. The visuals is hard to watch. That's why we're not showing it on the screen out of respect to Oswaldo and his family. But Justin Shackles said there's not a single person in this sport who deserves something like this to happen to them less than Oswaldo Cabrera. And I got to agree with him. If there's anyone that's out there that is the nicest human being and doesn't deserve anything bad, is Oswaldo Cabrera. I just want to reiterate that. And we could move on to talk something else. Shout out to Jacob Petruzzi, who says, follow the TikTok. Heck goes live almost every day. Yes, I go live on TikTok every day. Every day I go live when I'm at the stadium, whether it's at Citi Field or at Yankee Stadium. Talking about Yankee Stadium, I will be at the Subway Series this Friday and this Saturday. I will be there early to link up some of my guys because it's Juan Soto's first game back in Yankee Stadium. We'll talk about that later on in the show, but make sure you guys follow us on TikTok. It's Uptown Sports TV. Sometimes I do the Knicks watch along, the NBA playoffs watch along, the Yankees broadcast watch along. So you guys can come and join us over there on the Tiki Talks. Now, switching gears and switching the conversation, let's shout out more people that is in the chat right now. My guy, Javier Velez. Javi, it's been a minute. I haven't seen you. Appreciate you. Stephen B is in the building. Look, Stephen B, Hector B in the dugout for the Mets and Yankees. It's amazing to see. Absolutely. If you guys don't know what it's like to hang out in a major league dugout, come with me. I go live from inside the Mets dugout, inside the Yankees dugout. I try some of that big league chew that they had, Grace, over the weekend. They put out different ones for Mother's Day on Sunday at Citi Field. It was disgusting. I hated it. I thought it was straight trash. I don't know. I'm not a fan of big league chew. I'm just different. It just tastes like cardboard to me. Shout out everybody else that's in the chat. Appreciate you, Jacob Petruzzi, one of the top moderators that's out there. John the Beagle Dad is in the building. I appreciate you, Johnny the Beagle Dad. So switching gears with the Oswaldo Cabrera injury, we have DJ LeMahieu, La Máquina, is coming back to save the Yankees season. Fire State Yankees, they put it out there that DJ LeMahieu is expected to be activated off the IL tomorrow, which is today, and start on Wednesday, tomorrow, according to Aaron Boone. This would be the first appearance in a major league game since September 3rd of last season. Grace, what's your thoughts on this?
Well, unfortunately, like Joel Sherman always says, and many people always say, these things work themselves out, unfortunately. And this is another case of how we've been like, oh, who are they going to DFA when DJ LeMahieu comes? Who are they going to send down? Like, what are they going to do? Well, unfortunately, extremely unfortunately, there's going to be a spot, I think. So when Cabrera goes on the IL, DJ LeMahieu comes right in. Anyway, they have had him playing second base on his rehab assignment, which I found extremely interesting.
Same.
But now that Cabrera is out, I wonder if they'll go with third with him, just because it's less ranging for him if he's having lower body issues, which he is with his hip and everything else. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with DJ, but they did say he wouldn't be, oh yeah, it says right there, he wouldn't be starting till Wednesday. I wonder if that'll hold true. Since what happened last night, I guess we'll see. But yeah, DJ's coming back. I hope for the best. I mean, what else can I say? I hope for the best, you know?
I'm laughing at Anna Marie in the chat. DJ La Máquina or DJ La Ground Out. Shout out to Anna Marie that's in the building. My guy, the Ace Avenue. Yo, Ace, my fault for not answering you back last night. I was doing the Golden State Warriors game watch along on TikTok. Shout out to my guy Ace who messaged me when Oswaldo, because I had both going on. I had the Golden State Timberwolves game and I had the Yankee game while I was on TikTok. And he texted me while I was on live and I couldn't believe it. So shout out to my guy, the Ace Avenue. Make sure you guys go and give my guy Ace over there a subscribe. La Ground Out. Eddie Snap says, hopefully DJ will be the second half of 2023 version where he was at least decent. Now, you brought up the situation when it comes to what position he's going to play. Is he going to play second? Is he going to play third? And guys, we got over 230 people in the building watching us right now. If you're watching us on Twitter, if you're watching us on Instagram, click the link in the bio. Come on over to YouTube and join us. We have 15 likes on YouTube. If you guys can, run the likes up, smack that like button, and hit that subscribe button as well. And thank you guys for joining this beautiful community we have over here on YouTube. What position is he going to play, second or third? I would say now they will have him playing third, but I understand the reasoning why the Yankees had him doing rehab starts at second base, because if you look at it, out of the three positions he could play, third, second, and first, what is the most position you need to have the most athleticism? It's second base. So they're trying to get him nimble. They're trying to get him stretched out. So they're letting him take grounders at second base so he can stretch himself out, and then they're moving to third base. Because if a situation happens, right, hypothetically, let's knock on wood. If something happens and you need to have DJ LeMahieu play second base in an emergency situation, at least he started his rehab process at second base. And this is not like, oh my God, now I got to go back to second base, the position I played when I got injured last time. At least psychologically, he will be a lot better in the game, if you kind of understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think I hope he definitely built some confidence down there. He had a good amount of hits, and had some success. And I think he's excited to rejoin the team. So hopefully he can start off strong and build on that. And look, we don't need him to be 2019 DJ LeMahieu. We just need him to contribute. We just need him to be a part of the team in some valuable way. So, that's hopefully he can do that.
Whatever we can get from DJ LeMahieu, again, and it just sucks that Oswaldo got hurt because he was having an amazing season. He was playing a good third base, some errors here or there, and now we're stuck with DJ LeMahieu and Pablo Lopez. If you're the Yankees, you're calling up whatever team that you can. Pablo Reyes lives to see another day with the New York Yankees. Pablo Reyes, we was talking about it, Grace. When DJ LeMahieu comes back, Pablo Reyes is going to get cut. That ain't happening now. Pablo Reyes is here. Pablo Reyes has survived another day with the New York Yankees in this fan base.
And then I thought Yorbit Vivas was going to just get sent down because he still has options. Mm-hmm. So, and that's not going to happen either. I don't know. So anyway, Let's talk about something else.
Let's talk about something else. How about this, Grace?
Yes,
I'll
please.
kick it over to you.
Thank you.
And I'll let you start it out because we have to talk about someone. We have to talk about Jason Dominguez. Grace, go ahead.
Oh my God. Okay, so let me tell y'all what happened. Heck was at the Mets game. Okay, so he wasn't watching this game live. The 3-run homer games I'm talking about against the A's. So Jason hits his first home run, and I'm like, oh my God, amazing. And I texted Hector, and I'm like, heck, I know you're at the Mets game, but Jason just homered. And because Hector and I were talking, we were having a conversation about his power coming around, Jason's power coming around. So I'm like, I know you're at the Mets game, but Jason just hit a home run. And Hector, who's working, is like, cool. And I'm like, all right, so I'm watching the game. Then Jason Dominguez comes up to the right side. Oh yeah, baby. And hits another one. A no doubter. And I'm like, holy sh. So I go to my phone. I'm like, Hector, Jason Dominguez just hit a home run from the right side now. He's got one from the left and one from the right. And Hector is, again, he's at, I almost said Shea Stadium, my God, Citi Field. And he's like, what? And I'm like, no.
When he hit because there's a time difference. The Mets started earlier because the Yankees are on the West Coast. So when he hit the second home run, I was wrapping up, coming from the press conference.
Yeah,
about
you're
to
busy.
do.
You're
Yeah. So I was like, wait, what the fuck is going on? So go ahead. I'm sorry. Keep going.
So no, I like it. Jump in anytime. So I'm watching the game, going on, and I'm thinking like, I'll catch Hector up later, like whatever. And then the most amazing moment of my year, Jason Dominguez comes back up from the left side and he hits a granny, and I'm like, what? I was just like on cloud 9 for sure. So I text Hector once again. Like, Hector, Jason just hit the grand slam. And Hector's like, are you serious? And I was like, bro. So I go on Twitter and I'm getting blown up because everybody knows that I'm the biggest Jason Dominguez supporter. I'm the biggest Jason Dominguez fan, and I just love him so much. So everyone's like, oh my gosh, Grace Monroe, she's going to freak out. Grace Monroe's so happy right now. I think I wrote like, I will never be this happy again. Because I was just, you couldn't tell me nothing. They said he is the youngest Yankee ever to hit 3 home runs in one game. Which, credit to Hector, before they even came out with that stat, he said it to me on text. He was like, I wonder if he's the youngest ever to hit 3 home runs. And then like 2 minutes later, Yes Network said that he was the youngest ever, that he passed Joe DiMaggio. So Hector was on it from jump per usual. But I mean, that's a huge big deal. I know it's kind of an arbitrary stat, but if you think about it, with all the years of the Yankees and all of the years where there were young players, and I mean, we're talking about over 100 years of baseball for the New York Yankees. To claim any record is a big deal. So, and he did it from both sides of the plate. It's just it was an incredible day. The Martian was on base like I think 8 times during that series.
Yeah.
In Sacramento, he was mashing, and I was so happy for him. And just over the moon. So yesterday I tweeted, this is the last thing I'm going to say, I throw it over to you.
Go ahead.
Last thing I tweeted yesterday was, because of course he got sat after that. He sat yesterday, okay? But Julio Rodriguez came up, who everybody loves, and everybody's like, you don't like Julio Rodriguez, Grace? And I'm like, well, I don't know. I wish he would reach his potential someday or something. He's got all the potential in the world, but I don't know. I mean, I don't not like him, but, whatever. Yesterday, Julio Rodriguez is at bat, and I'm pretty pissed because Jason's sitting, even though I get it. I get why Boone, he has so many players he wants to play right now, and I get it. And they flash his stats up, and I said, what? Hold on. And I looked up Jason Dominguez's stats. He is beating Julio Rodriguez in not only batting average, but also in OPS. Jason Dominguez is having a better season than Julio Rodriguez. Okay? Just saying.
I'm right there. I'm right there with you, Grace. I'm right there. People got to put some respect on Jason Dominguez's name. I was laughing. One, shout out to Erica. Fucking Erica's fucking hilarious. Erica said, this picture just proves that some guys, they just look much better with a beard. And yeah, Jason Dominguez in this picture looks like a child, but now he looks like an actual grown adult. And the way he's been playing like an actual grown adult. Delulu Yankee fan said, "Oh my God, this is the Grace who sings the song." Mind blown. I guess this is the Ace Avenue homie. Absolutely, yeah. Shout out to Delulu Yankee fan. Appreciate you for being in the building. Thank you for finding us, and shout out to my guy, Mr. Ace Avenue, who does amazing watch-alongs over there on his channel. Guys, make sure you guys go and follow Ace.
Yeah,
he's a friend of the show. He's a friend of the family. I mean, he's a friend of the channel. He's a real good human being. I love that guy to death. But no, when it comes to Jason Dominguez, Fireside Yankees, they just put it out there. We got 270 people in the building. Guys, jump on over to YouTube, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. After breaking Joe DiMaggio's 88-year run as the youngest player in Yankees history to hit 3 home runs in a game, Jason Dominguez was the player of the week for them. No free promotion for Aspen, but shout out to Fireside Yankees. 368 over this past week. 895 slugging. He has a WRC plus 261 in that time span with 3 home runs. I'm in agreement with you, Grace. I'm in agreement with you. I would have liked to seen Jason Dominguez in the lineup, right? But I get it. A tough lefty. No, you look good for it. Keep it on. A tough lefty. I get it. But to see Trent Grisham, have a multi-home run game, the way that Trent Grisham has been playing and has been performing. I'm gonna look up Trent because I saw a stat for Trent Grisham. Trent Grisham, I think, on the season has 12 home. Let me just double check. Trent Grisham,
he has 12.
Stat. He has 12 home runs.
Yeah.
8 of those 12 home runs, they have come in the last 16 games.
Oh, sheesh.
So, yes, as much as I want to see Jason Dominguez out there, I understand what we're seeing from Mr. Trent Grisham. And it gets me more frustrated that he was the 4th outfielder and we had Alex Verdugo every day out there. That makes me more seeing what we're getting out of Trent Grisham. Granted, I'm not sure if Trent Grisham would have performed like this last year. We see he's performing like this now. He does use a torpedo bat. Maybe that's helping him with his barrel percentage. But Trent Grisham, he has played himself into this lineup. The reason why Jason Dominguez is not in the lineup every day, and I don't blame it on the Yankees organization, it's because of the way that Trent Grisham is performing. Yes, I want to see Jason Dominguez go out there because he's hitting now, and he's starting to put up numbers as well, and he's making it hard for Aaron Boone to sit him on a day at any given day that he chooses to. But the way that Trent Grisham is playing, you reward that type of performance and you put him out there, Grace. That's just me personally.
I agree. I want to emphasize that I don't believe that playing Trent Grisham requires you to sit Jason Dominguez. It requires you to sit Cody Bellinger, not Trent Grisham, not Jason Dominguez. Jason and Trent can play at the same time. I don't like the narrative that they're sitting Jason for Trent. It's too convenient for me, in my opinion. They're sitting Jason for Cody. Okay, let's call a spade. So that's in my opinion. So that gets on my last nerve because they're like, oh well, don't you want Trent Grisham in the lineup? I'm like, yeah, and no T. They can both play at the same time. You're not sitting him for Trent. You're sitting him for Cody. But Cody's coming around, and I get it. Cody is a former MVP, Rookie of the Year, World Series champion. Okay, I get it. And Boone can't play everybody in the same lineup, and I get that too. My only thing is, it is kicking the can on Jason Dominguez's development. So every time he sits, he needs a little bit more patience from the fan base, from a fan base that's just known for patience. But he's doing what he's doing in spite of this getting sat, in spite of having DH days, in spite of all that stuff. He's still doing what he's doing, and it's incredible. So, I mean, I saw a tweet too that I thought was don't bring that up. You were saying, Heck, about how we were playing Verdugo over Grisham last year. And I saw a tweet that was, imagine if we had last year's team in the World Series, but we had Ben Rice at first and Alex Verdugo in the and Trent Grisham in the outfield, because both of them were on the team last year. And we could have won the World Series, but shoulda, coulda, woulda, and all that. But
Great, Grace, you brought up Cody Bellinger's, right? And you know what's interesting about Cody Bellinger? I'm looking this right here. This is 4, 10, 18, 21. In his last 25 at-bats, Cody Bellinger has 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. He has 9 hits in his last 25 at-bats. He is starting to turn it around as well. And he is starting to put up numbers. So, yes, I'm in agreement with you. Right now, Trent Grisham kind of surpassed Cody Bellinger when you look at like the outfield projections and the outfield depth chart. But Cody Bellinger, this is what you want to see. You want Cody Bellinger to put up these numbers, because now when you see everyone in the lineup rocking, you got Ben Rice. You're not taking Ben Rice out the lineup. You're not taking Paul Goldschmidt out the lineup, right? Who's going to be in that? Who's going to be that fourth outfielder that sits on the bench? Because Jason Dominguez, he's putting up numbers. We know Aaron Judge is not being touched. He's always going to be in that lineup. So it's going to come down to Cody Bellinger, Trent Grisham, and Jason Dominguez. And competition, pressure builds diamonds. Pressure creates diamonds, and that's what we need right now. The Yankees, I think their outfield is loaded. Our weakness is third base, and I think that will be addressed a lot sooner than later, especially with the injury that just happened to Oswaldo Cabrera. I want to go through some chats real quick. Go ahead, Grace. I saw you want to say something.
No, you're good. I just sent you a text. If you can get it and bring it up at some point, if you can, that'd be awesome. But it's about you were bringing up Paul Goldschmidt. And I just wrote down a few things for us to talk about today. And one of the things that I wrote down was Paul Goldschmidt is having
that was a tweet. Could you send me the tweet?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I apologize.
Okay, hold on. Let me find it.
No problem. So I'll just read off the chat. And I brought Erica because Erica shot me a text message of some Yankee stats, and I was like, "Girl, if you free, you better come up here and read that off." Just give me 1 second. I'll bring up Erica right now. Erica, you free to go?
Okay, I sent it to you.
All right, copy. Go ahead, Grace.
Paul Goldschmidt is having an incredible year, like an MVP year so far. Except he's on the same team as Aaron Judge, who's doing everything better than him. But But if you take Aaron Judge out of the equation, Paul Goldschmidt is having an MVP season so far, and he is the Okay, this is the tweet I just sent you, Heck. This is not just about Goldie. This is about our whole team. I want y'all to look at this. Hey, take a look at this tweet, y'all. American League home run leaders. Number 1 and number 2, Yankees. Batting average leaders. Number 1 and number 2, Yankees. Slug leaders. Number 1 and number 2, Yankees. Hits leaders. Number 1 and number 2, Yankees. Number 1 and number 2. Okay? This is a solid offensive powerhouse team. What they're doing right now is incredible. I mean, they are picking up the weekend rotation. They are getting it done. Paul Goldschmidt, in 160 at-bats, has a 350 batting average with an 894 OPS, and he's not hitting home runs. An 894 OPS, and I think he's only hit 2 home runs all year. Do you know how hard it is to have an 894 OPS when you're not hitting bombs? That's how good Paul Goldschmidt is. He has been an unsung hero of this lineup. I mean, an incredible guy, incredible addition. So I just wanted to bring that up. Erica, I know you love Paul Goldschmidt just as much as I do. What do you want to say?
I want to shout out our good friend Erica. Hope all is well, Erica. I hope you had a good Mother's Day weekend. Shout out to your moms. I saw the post that you put out. That was a beautiful picture that you put up. Shout out to her.
No, thank you. I appreciate it. It's actually been a pretty rough weekend with the family. So I appreciate you having me on here because it kind of distracts me a little bit. So thank you. And shout out to the Knicks. Shout out to the Knicks for a gritty win yesterday.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, Grace randomly texted me. She's like, "Oh, the Knicks won." Like she's an honorary Knicks fan, even if she doesn't watch basketball.
Hey, I'm here for the ride. I'm what they call a true bandwagon fan this season. So
honestly, like anybody in the New York area, anybody really that's not a hater of the Knicks should be cheering us on because we as fans deserve them to be this good. I mean, we've gone through so much hell, but anyway, yeah, Paul Goldschmidt. It's really incredible to watch game over game and just see his average pop up. And it's like, he's batting 340. I don't know what it is right now, but he's like batting 345. Like, what?
Yeah.
And I know in the beginning, everyone was like, oh, it's cool. He's getting hits, but they're just singles. And now the other day he had 3 doubles in one game. Yeah. He comes up clutch. He has clutch hits. Like when he comes in, he just knows he has to put the ball in play and it'll find a hole. He's running the bases aggressively. He's not the fastest guy, but you see him tagging up. You see him, trying to leg out a double or whatever it is. Should have been a triple the other day that they put their hands up and they called it back a double. But yeah, this offense, the picture that I sent Hector is the Yankees lead first in every offensive category that you can think of in the entire major leagues, which is impressive because the one thing that we were excited about going into the season was that they had a balanced lineup. And yes, the team was bipolar. Either it was all or nothing, and we've seen it time and time again. But over the past week, I mean, I don't know how many games they scored more than 10 runs on a West Coast trip, which is not always easy, traveling from the East Coast to the West Coast, adjusting to the time. Like 1 through 9, you're getting production, and it's really fun to watch. It's much more fun. Like last year was fun, but it was top heavy. This year, it's like guys are starting to come around, and it's you always feel like you're in the game, and they're having comeback wins, which was another issue that I was having. But they're climbing back into games, and they're picking up their bullpen. So yeah, it's been really fun to watch. I don't know if you want to. I don't know if you can put up that photo, Hector. But yeah,
put it up right now. Yeah.
First in every offensive category except for I think walks. They're tied with the Diamondbacks at 162 or 142, something like that. So yeah, it's been fun.
I saw this morning Katie Sharp posted that the Yankees are 3rd in MLB at sac fly execution. And I'm like, oh, that is so good. I mean, that is like talk harder, you know what I mean?
This chart is crazy to see. Go ahead, Grace.
I was just gonna say situational hitting that we were harping on all last season and season before that. come on, guys, like bun him over, hit a sac fly, get the run in. Yeah, how they're not able to execute in extra innings with the ghost runner on. I know Erica loves ghost runner.
Oh my God.
But we're seeing that this year with the discipline and the selfless at bats like we get from Paul Goldschmidt, like we're getting from Austin Wells, like and all up and down the lineup. I mean, and that stat proves it. Third most in MLB with sac flies. Like, I love to hear that.
Yeah. I was going to say, shout out to Mark Teammaker in the building. King in the building who says, just want to say I love y'all and keep up the great work. Go Yankees. King, I appreciate you. I love that flag, that Isla split down the middle, the black and white one with the red, white and blue. I like that one. L.I. Yankee King. Now, the only troll that I acknowledge is my guy, L.I. Yankee Key, a.k.a. Aiden Kaiba, who says, wasn't I told going into this season that the Yankees offense sucked? Or is it because they couldn't handle New York? Man, when I was one of those guys that said this offense is good, I told you so. Absolutely. I kind of got lost there reading what I was reading it like I hear him saying it to me at the same time. L.I. No, absolutely. I agree with L.I. because coming into the season, Grace, you pointed it out there. We got Paul Goldschmidt, former MVP. Cody Bellinger, former MVP. Both guys who we can admit, are past their primes. Both guys, more Cody Bellinger, dealing with injuries over the past several years. When you could import those guys and tell them, hey, we don't need you guys to be the focal point of our offense. We don't need our offense to revolve around you guys. We have Aaron Judge. All we want from you guys is to go into the lineup and get hits here and there and get on base. That's all you want. Mm-hmm. And that's what we're seeing. We saw it from Paul Goldschmidt from the beginning of the season until now. And you see it with Cody Bellinger. Cody Bellinger, he had that little back flare up that happened towards the beginning of the season. So give him a little bit of grace period, but he has started to turn it around. And this offense is deep. And like you said, that quote that came out there on Twitter, or that tweet you pointed out there, if we would have had Ben Rice at first base, what would have happened in the World Series, right? No shade to Anthony Rizzo. It's not his fault that Fernando Tatis ass hit him in the head. But when you look at this lineup, you could tell, even without Juan Soto, this lineup is better than what it was last year. It's better than what it was in the postseason because you are not top heavy. And one person I got to give a shout out to is my guy, Richie Riviera, a.k.a. Rich Riveras from Empire State of Baseball. Shout out to my guy, Rich. Hope all is well. Rich said it in the offseason when I kept saying that the Yankees need to bring back Juan Soto. And Rich said, we need to add guys and we need to straighten up this lineup. So bringing in someone like Cody Bellinger, bringing in someone like Paul Goldschmidt, on top of Ben Rice turning to what he is right now, Jason Dominguez starting to flourish, Trent Grisham. I think Trent Grisham is the X factor in this entire lineup. I don't think the Yankees offense is this good if Trent Grisham doesn't perform this well. I think Trent Grisham is the X factor and is the reason why this offense is what it is right now. So credit to the Yankees and their advanced analytics making that move and getting him in the lineup.
I want to say something about Trent Grisham. When you brought it up earlier, I meant to say it, but I forgot. But I'm glad we're circling back around because I saw an interview with Devin Williams. And I can't remember who was asking the question. I don't think it was Meredith. But anyway, they asked him, can you believe what you're seeing from Trent Grisham right now? Like, isn't he playing away like crazy? And Devin Williams, casual as goes, yeah, I can. Because I've seen him do this before. And I was like, what? Devin Williams said that when they were coming up in AA, Trent Grisham was a beast.
Yeah, he was a top prospect.
Yeah, and I didn't know that because, he wasn't a Yankee prospect. He was, he wasn't around. So I didn't know that about him. I found that to be so interesting. But Devin was like, yeah, I've seen this before. Yeah, he's a monster. And I've seen him do this before. Yes, I have. And I'm not shocked at all. And I was like, wow, I thought that was a cool little tidbit. If you didn't catch that in some random Devin Williams interview that I saw.
Yeah, Anna Marie says Trent Griffey Jr. No, but definitely. And the numbers that he's putting up, he's warranting all-star votes the way that Trent Grisham has been performing. Now, the question I got to ask you guys with both Aaron Judge and Trent Grisham, and Erica, you could start it off. Is this sustainable from Trent Grisham? I'll let you go with that and give us whatever thoughts you have.
At this, you'd hope so. I feel like the Yankees always get a guy. There's always just one random guy that has like a Linsanity run. Matt Carpenter, I don't know why that's the only name that I can think of right now. There's always a guy.
Carpenter and
Jan
Carpenter.
Carpenter.
Jan Harvest
No.
Solarte. You remember Jan Harvest Solarte from back in the day?
Jan Jarvis.
Jan Jarvis.
But listen, even if it's not, the Yankees, although it's infuriating when you don't see a guy like Jason Dominguez start. I know, Grace, that pisses you off, but they have 4 starting outfielders, and you have Giancarlo coming back. So if it's not sustainable, then listen, you have other options that can pick you up if you're going through a slump. All I could say is you got to sit back and enjoy this, because what he is doing has been incredible. It's like, I mean, he looks like that mustache and everything. It just looks like Reggie Jackson out there. It's crazy. And yeah, I hope it's sustainable. But like I said, they've got some good problems right now.
They asked him, what have you changed? What adjustments did you make in the offseason that are giving you this incredible run so far in 2025? And Trent Grisham said, actually, what I did was I changed my mindset. I'm paraphrasing, but he was like, I actually had to make a mental change. I didn't change anything about my game. It was up here what I changed. And what I basically did was, I'm paraphrasing, but you guys can go look up the interview. And he said, what I basically did was I came to accept my role on the team as a bench player. So what happened was he took all the pressure off of himself. I'm sure he was a starter at the Padres. When he came over in the trade with Juan Soto, I'm sure he thought, if I play well enough, I'll become a starter here. I got to play better. I got to do better. I got to earn a starting spot. He put all this pressure on himself. When they signed him in the offseason, they said, you're going to be our 4th outfielder. We'd like to sign you, but you're going to be on the bench. You're going to come in and we're going to use you. But, we can't guarantee you that you're going to be an everyday starter. It was made very clear to him. He then took that, he processed it, and he took all the pressure off of himself. Now, what you see him doing is playing free, with joy, without all of the expectations on him. He knows his role as the 4th outfielder, and you're seeing it come through with him having fun, with him smiling, which was a rare sighting. Now you see Trent smiling, you see him, flipping his bat and flipping the catching the ball, flipping it to Judge in the outfield, and just playing with no expectations and no pressure. And it's so hard to mentally get there. What I hope they continue to do is allow him to play that way. If they make him an everyday starter, if they start to put expectations on him or put pressure on him, it could change his mental state. We want him to stay in the mental state that he is now. So hopefully they know that. I'm sure they do. And with all 4 outfielders hitting like they are right now, I'm certain that he'll still have some bench time, as well as the other outfielders will as well, because again, they can't play them all at the same time. So that's my hope going forward. You're muted, Heck.
Sorry, I stay doing that. I keep muting myself, but yeah, I agree with you 100%. When it comes to Trent Grisham, you put him out there and you let him play. The way that he has been playing, and I'm going to keep on repeating it, he is warranting being in the lineup. He is forcing Aaron Boone's hand, and guarantee you, Brian Cashman is in the background like, when I traded for Juan Soto, I was really trading for Trent Grisham. You know what I mean?
Bro, I wanted to bring this up. I didn't do like a whole Grace's Corner, but if I was going to do a Grace's Corner today, it would have been about Brian Cashman. And it would have pissed off a lot of people. But what I'm going to say is the moves are looking real good. Okay? The Grisham trade that Hector calls the Grisham trade. But can we please talk about Yarbrough?
Yeah, another one.
Another one.
I got this.
Another one.
Yeah, exactly.
Another one.
Where the moves are looking real good. Okay, the moves, when you look back on them, you're like, Brian Cashman, you brilliant son of a bitch. Because Yarbrough stepped up and gave us more innings than I don't even want to slander any of our pitchers, but y'all know the situation. Y'all know we've been begging for innings out of our starting pitchers. He stepped up, no problem, and handled business. And it looks like a brilliant acquisition. Got him for pennies on the dollar, and there's trades like that all through that when you look that Brian Cashman makes, under the radar trades, trades where people or signings where people say, why are we signing this guy? And then it turns out to be just in time, just in the nick of time, just too handy, you know? And that's why Cashman keeps us in the hunt year after year, year over year, because of small trades like that nobody like really cares about, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
ahead,
with anybody, I mean, you put Cashman has a lot of say in it, but anybody that you put with Matt Blake, just I don't know, man. They just thrive, and let's Cashman made the right move on DFAing Cookie Carrasco. Everyone thought that he was actually going to be the one to stay, and Warren, since he has the options, was going to go down.
Yeah.
They went the other way. Warren's had a phenomenal start against was
Mm-hmm.
it the A's. So maybe they made the right decision. Granted, with Warren, there's gonna be a lot of ups and downs just because it's hard to be a pitcher in the major leagues, and that's why you don't see an ace, with every
Yeah.
staff. But yeah, credit where credit is due, and Cashman has always bargain bin shopped and somehow find success. This bullpen, they're tired, right? The beginning of this year has been rough. They had to do a lot of work, a lot of cleanup on starting pitchers that couldn't go deep into games. And that's why I like to see the offense picking up the bullpen, right? They're not going to be perfect, even though they were close to it at the beginning of the year. But these guys, they dig in, they find a way, and it's really impressive what the Yankees have done with this bullpen, because not a lot of teams have that catalyst. I think the Padres have a solid bullpen. Yankees, it's hard. I always say that bullpens are like offensive lines in football. Like, it's not easy to create one that's going to be dominant. And yeah, I just credit to Cashman, credit to Boone. A lot of people want to hate on Boone. Boone has been making really good decisions. And granted, the offense is picking him up. Guys like Trent is having such a crazy year that even after he sits and he comes in pinch hits, he's still hitting bombs. But Boone has been hitting or making all the right decisions. And, he might go, I don't know, I might get a lot of slack about this in the comments, but I just think this West Coast trip, or at least these last, 7-10 games, he's made really good decisions, and people are not giving him credit.
Yeah, no, I absolutely, and I'm glad that you brought that up, because that was something that I was going to say. When Aaron Boone first came over, his first year with the New York Yankees, we had so many injuries, and it felt like every button he pressed and every move that he made was the right decision, and we won over 100 games. Granted, with all the injuries that we had, there was a lot of people. I was saying he should be manager of the year. He didn't win it, but I was pushing for him. Then he has the moments where a lot of Yankee fans love to beat up on him. But this year, Aaron Boone, every decision when it comes to the bullpen, when it comes to that starting rotation, we'll touch on Marcus Stroman in a little bit, because there's some noise coming out of there when it comes to his injury and stuff.
Oh, God.
But every move that Aaron Boone has made has been spot on. And again, when it comes to giving flowers, we gave it to Aaron Boone. You got to give it to Brian Cashman, right? Because I'm guilty. When the Yankees signed Paul Goldschmidt, I wanted Carlos Santana more than I wanted Paul Goldschmidt, because he's a switch hitter and he has a better glove at first base. Paul Goldschmidt has proven me wrong, right? So that's why I'm not a GM and Brian Cashman is. So every move that Brian Cashman has made this offseason has been spot on, from the Max Fried signing to the Cody Bellinger move to Jose Fernandez out of the bullpen, Ryan Yarbrough. I just look at the bullpen he has assembled. I know Devin Williams, we're still waiting to see what happens if he can figure it out, but everybody else beside Devin Williams has been phenomenal. If you remove Devin Williams' numbers and his stats from this bullpen, I guarantee you that this bullpen will be the best bullpen in all of Major League Baseball, if not top 3, if you remove Devin Williams and his stats.
And it's not even fully healthy.
Absolutely, because we got Jonathan Loizaga on the way back. But talking about this team real quick, we got to talk about El Capitan, Aaron Judge, who has a .414 batting average, 14 home runs, 40 RBIs. He has an OPS of 1283. When I was on with Dexter Henry, he asked me, is this sustainable? And every week, I'm hoping it's sustainable. In the back of my mind, I'm nervous, thinking that it's going to come down. But every week, Aaron Judge is up there. Now, it's all going to come down to health. It's all going to come down to stamina. It's all going to come down to, if you're the opposing manager, you got to start pitching around Aaron Judge. You got to make the other guys in the lineup beat you. And what's happening now? everybody in the lineup is hitting, and that's why Aaron Judge is able to produce at the way he is. Go ahead, Grace.
The evil plan is working. Yeah, I was told that Aaron Judge was only good last year because Juan Soto was batting in front of him. So, what is going on? He's having even better year this year than he had last year, which was the greatest season. Again, I'm going to say it again. The greatest season for right-handed batter of all time is 2024 Aaron Judge. That's a fact. And he's having an even better year this year, and he's doing it without Juan Soto. He really heard everybody talking smack and said, okay, all right, here it comes. Y'all, I wanted to show you my new shirt. This is the one I was telling y'all about that I was going to wear. With Aaron Judge as Captain America and the baseball bat instead of the flag. It's so dope. I told y'all I was going to wear it last week. So I'm wearing it today. It's awesome. Get your Captain America Judge shirt. I think I got it on Yankee Report shop.
Yeah, Yankee Report. Yeah.
It is so cool. So he is Captain America. He's the best player in baseball. I'm not taking any arguments at this time. So he's the GOAT. So
yeah, he really is. Like you said, barring injury. But when he dove for that ball late in the game yesterday, I was like,
so nervous
because he did that Judge grimace, and like he's just like I don't know. It's it freaked me out. And then he did it again in the dugout, and I was like, "What? What is he okay? Is he fine?" But he came in and he worked the walk right, I think, and then he was there. I mean, he's the epitome of a captain. He was right there with Oswaldo Cabrera. I'm sure in his head he's like, "I wish I didn't hit a sac fly." I wish I wasn't the reason for that. Like, I'm sure that's going through his head. Yeah, I mean, there's not much. We talk about this. I feel like every time you guys are like having these shows, or if I'm on it, I feel like we always talk about Aaron Judge. What he's doing is insane. And once again, I am telling you that nobody outside of diehard baseball fans and Yankee fans understand. Nobody else really understands what we're watching on a daily basis. This is literally going to be talked about for years. And if he caps it off with a ring, this will be considered one of the greatest players of all time.
And that's what he needs to, right? One, to shut up all the trolls and all the critics who keep pointing back to the World Series and what happened. I kid you not. When I was on with Dexter, this past Sunday, and we was talking about Aaron Judge, and he brought up, is it sustainable, blah, blah, blah. When we put that clip out on Twitter, the first comment was, Judge need to catch the ball and hit in the postseason. That was the first comment on that video, because the trolls are going to troll. But Aaron Judge, he understands that coming into this season, and I said this, he had a chip on his shoulder. He had something to prove. And over the past 3 years, right, and I know that injury season when he ran into that wall with the Dodgers and messed up his toe, over the past 3 years, every year he has gotten better. Each year, better. And you see it this year. And I definitely think that last year I thought was better than 62 when he hit 62. This year is better than last year and when he hit 62. And it amazes me how good Aaron Judge is getting as he gets older and he's more seasoned as a baseball player. Because always remember, he started baseball late. He was more of a football and basketball guy. High school, he played baseball here or there. He was a walk-on at Fresno State. He was a walk-on. In college is when he took baseball 100% serious. When he was in college, and you don't see that from superstars on the level like Aaron Judge.
What I notice about his game is you brought up that he's having an even better year, and it made me think he seems like he's feeling more comfortable with his toe. I don't know. I base this on nothing except watching him every day, but he's going for doubles instead of settling for a single. You can see him, like Erica said, diving for all these balls and being more, I don't want to say athletic, but more physical. He's playing more physical this year than he played last year or the year before that. And it's great to see. It makes me nervous because I want him to play for a long time to come. But it's amazing to see. He's even stealing a few bags. He's out there. He's feeling good, I think.
Yeah. So with the injury, obviously the trade, people are going to start trading and stuff like that. there's been a fake trade, or there's been a rumor of a trade that's been like permutating on Twitter. Hope you like the big word permutating, but there's been like a rumor on there that's been circling in the Twitter sphere about Sonny Gray and how the Yankees are going to trade for Sonny Gray. I just want to say, shout out to Joe's McFly, right? The Dominican unk, because they asked him this on John Boy and Talking Yanks just randomly. What is too early of a Yankee trade? And he said Sonny Gray. And somebody on Twitter, I'm not going to mention the account because I'm not going to give that person clout. Somebody on Twitter took that and ran with it as, oh, the Yankees are going to trade for Sonny Gray. An insider says this, Yankee insider says this, and da-da-da-da. So the Yankees are on the road. So yesterday while I was at Citi Field, I asked, and he told me not to mention his name, but I asked one of the beat reporters that follows the Mets about that, and he laughed. He was like, do you know the amount of tweets of fake trades that we see? And we just laugh about this shit because none of them are real. Like, this is just people that you got to understand. And he said us journalists are guilty of it as well because we throw shit out there just so people can click on it. So if you're an up and coming content creator, if you're somebody who's trying to be in the know, you're going to do clickbait. Like when I titled these videos, there's a reason why I put New York Yankees news in captions. So it catches your eye. So if somebody is scrolling and they see Yankees, Sonny Gray, breaking news, they're going to click on it and give that person a view. And then their algorithm they're going to get pushed in the algorithm because people are clicking on it and watching their videos. So I just think I just thought it's a rumor that's funny, but there's no truth to the Sonny Gray stuff. Now, if the Yankees trade for Sonny Gray, you could call me a liar and say I'm stupid. I'll own that shit. I'll be the first one to own it. But as of right now, I don't think there's any validity to the Yankees and the Sonny Gray news.
I don't even know how they'd get him.
I think that all the time when the MLB or some account posts these arbitrary lists of, oh, best players in MLB, top 10, and they put Aaron Judge at like number 4. And then all the Yankees fans come in and they start commenting and clicking and sharing and call. And I'm like, y'all, they do this on purpose so that y'all will do that. They put Aaron Judge at 4 on purpose. He's not number 4. They just know that every Yankees fan, which there are billions of us, is going to click, is going to comment, is going to get mad, is rage bait, and they take it every time. And I'm like, y'all, be smarter. Like, nobody thinks Aaron Judge is number 4. You know.
Same goes with like Ben Verlander, where he puts a bunch of stuff about like Shohei, the greatest batter, the offensive hitter we've ever seen. Well,
they make money.
It's
Every
trolling.
time
It's all it's all about, if you understand the algorithm, if you understand the internet game, it's all about generating clicks. I just view that as kind of cringy, and I don't want to be viewed as or perceived as the cringy old head on the internet talking sports. I just don't want to be perceived as that.
You mean like Dan Clark, and then he gaslights it into thinking that it's all the people that follow him that drove him to leave. Yeah, it's not all the trolling and the clickbait that you try to cause. And
no, facts, 100%.
I don't know if you guys know Dan Clark, but
no, I know exactly what you're referencing to. I want to shout out Ally Wise in the chat. Peace, Ally. Hope all is well. Eric Katz is in the building. Li, Sonny Gray would be a great addition to the team. Absolutely. When you look at the contract, I think he's controlled this year and next year. Very, very reasonable contract for the production that you're getting out of Sonny Gray. So if you're St. Louis, you're going to want Ben Rice in return for Sonny Gray. And I'm sorry, I'm not trading Ben Rice for Sonny Gray. Point blank period. I'm stopping the conversation and I'm hanging up the phone. I'm not trading. I'm not trading Ben Rice. They're going to want major league ready, young, controllable players right now. And a lot of people are throwing Ben Rice in trade conversations. Why are we so willing and wanting to trade for Ben Rice? I mean, trade Ben Rice already? I'm not doing that.
We've been trying to have a lefty first baseman with that kind of power for so long. I think Greg Bird was like our last big one, and then we just had kind of stopgaps. Then Rizzo, but he got injured. Ben Rice ain't going nowhere. You just look at everything the analytics nerds look at, and he is like the golden child of it offensively. There's no way. I'd be so pissed.
Eddie Snap says Sonny Gray has a full no trade clause. He won't approve. Absolutely. You think Sonny Gray wants to come back to New York the way that Yankee fans treated Sonny Gray? Absolutely not. He's happy in the Midwest or the middle of the country, wherever that is on the map. But he is happy over there in Illinois, in St. Louis. He is happy. He eats fried raviolis every day. He's good. He don't want to be back in New York.
Oh man. What about I heard somebody talking about what about Nate what about Nate Evaldi?
Oh, I saw that too.
Yeah. The Rangers are
Now
taking a nosedive.
that's somebody I never wanted the Yankees to give up on. Nate
Yeah.
Nate
Oh, me
Eovaldi.
too. I loved him. But he didn't reach his full potential until after he left, obviously. But watching him day in, day out on the TV here in Texas, he is so good, y'all. I love him. I would love to have him back as a Yankee. But I don't think he wants to either. I'm not sure if he has a no trade, but I know he loves it in Texas. And it's just a slower pace. And the people are nice. I mean, I'm not talking about myself. The Rangers fans. The Rangers fans are really, really nice people. They have, again, no expectations. And he took less money to come back here in his free agency. So I know he loves Texas, but somebody did float that trade out there, and I was like, oh, I wish.
Yeah, and I think he makes just as much as Marcus Stroman. Just perspective.
I was gonna ask you, Erica, is there anybody too early of a Yankee trade? Are there anyone out there that is catching your eye, your attention when it comes to possible trade targets for the Yankees?
Man, nothing that I can think of. I just really wish that they would address this third base situation. I know what happened with Oswaldo Cabrera is extremely devastating, but I was yelling into a void that, like, I really wish that they've addressed this third base issue already and we had an actual everyday third base, because now we're playing this game again where it's like, what's DJ gonna do? And is he gonna be platooning with Vivas? Is Peraza just gonna get reps at third base based on what Peraza has looked like defensively? I'm like kind of nervous about that. And then you have when Jazz comes back. So I don't know. That's yeah, I haven't really thought about it, to be honest. So, and the whole Nolan Arenado thing. I mean, and even Sonny Gray, he's on the Cardinals. The Cardinals just won like their 9th game in a row. So I don't know if they're gonna be making trades or not. There's not many teams to trade with this new wild card situation. Who you got? The White Sox and the Marlins. Sandy Alcantara, it looks really bad. The White Sox, do they even have anybody? Luis Robert. But the Yankees don't need that. So I don't know.
Is there anybody on the Twins?
The Twins are on a heater right now too.
Oh, are they?
I think they just won like 7 in a row.
I'm gonna tell you right.
Yes.
I'm gonna tell you right now. When it comes to Luis Roberts, you brought him up, Erica. I heard yesterday the Mets are already making calls about Luis Robert Jr.
All right, they could have him.
Breaking news.
Yeah, they're making calls about him. And Yohan Moncada is somebody that somebody put in the chat. That's somebody that I wanted the Yankees to sign this offseason. He signed for $5 million with the Angels. That's somebody maybe that the Yankees could only have to pay half of their contract. But if the injury would have happened to Peraza, again, you don't wish injuries on anyone. But the fact that it happened to Oswaldo, who was the Yankees switch army man, and one of his best ability is availability and his versatility, I think if it would have happened to anybody else, I don't think the Yankees go out there necessarily and make a move. Because it happened to their super utility guy, I think the Yankees go out there and they add somebody at the trade deadline or before the trade deadline. Because you brought up, we got Jazz Chisholm coming back. They got DJ LeMahieu. Yorbis Vivas is now in the mix. Peraza's in the mix. So the Yankees may try to solve it internally, see what they have, and then look to the trade market. They're still waiting on the results from his injuries also.
Y'all know I want Josh Young. That's who I want. I hope the Rangers get absolutely blown up and they will be willing to trade Josh Young. He's a right-handed third baseman with pop and power and awesome. And I've said this so many times. He grew up a Yankees fan. He would love to join the New York Yankees. He is cool. He's a team player. And that's who I want. I want Josh Young, not Josh Smith. Josh Young, okay? Not Josh Smith is the former Yankee that we traded to the Rangers who plays several positions, and he's great too. I don't think the Rangers would be willing to move Josh Smith. I think they might be willing to move Josh Young. So that's who I want in my dream. But they don't want to just give him up, but they'd have to like implode. They'd have to say like, we're gonna do a full reset. Like they lost Max Scherzer. They let's see, Simeon's getting up there in age. Seager is not who he used to be, right? Adolis Garcia is not who he used to be. And they would have to say, you know what, we're going to do a full factory reset. We're going to trade Josh Young. We're going to trade this guy, whatever. That's what it would require to get him. But if that situation ever arises, I would just be over the moon to have Josh Young on the Yankees.
Pretty cool. I feel like they're kind of bogged down with all those contracts though, but I forget how long those contracts were for. But yeah, it's gonna be hard to unless they release them all and eat the money. But I can't see them doing that.
They spent all this money to win a World Series and they didn't. Unfortunately,
and it was worth it.
Nobody it's worth it emotionally, but nobody watched. Nobody watched the World Series because they played the Diamondbacks. I'm just calling a spade a spade. It was like the lowest rated World Series since like the COVID era, I think it was. And I don't think they made as much money back as they thought they were going to. So anyway, it's a whole situation. Plus their TV rights are all messed up with Bally, and I don't know what they're doing now. That whole drama, but we'd have to get a Rangers content creator on here to talk about all that. I don't know that much.
You know what's going to be funny? When 20, 30 years down the line, that's going to be a Snapple question, right? You open up a Snapple cop and it's Snapple top, and you look at it as like, can you name what teams played in the lowest rated World Series of all time? And you're like, damn, who it was? And then you're going to remember that Grace Monroe told you on the Yankees Morning Brew Tuesday, May 13th, 2025, that it was the Diamondbacks and the Texas Rangers. Y'all, before we get out of here, right? I'm gonna throw it over to both Grace and Erica. Anything from the Yankees world that's been on your mind for the past week? Because we didn't have the show on Friday because my internet was wonky. You guys remember the show before? It was in and out. Now my internet is stable. Now I got a stable internet connection. Is there anything that's on your mind from the Yankee world over the past week that we ain't touch on that you want to touch on? Grace, I'll kick it over to you. Folks in the chat, if you have anything, any topics, anything off of your head, let me know. But let us know.
Immediately, what jumps to my mind is
No, I'm joking.
No. What immediately jumps to my mind, again, I already cried earlier about Cabrera. I just love this team too damn much. It's like probably to an unhealthy level that I love this team. But speaking of that, when JC Escarra hit the walk-off sack, whatever you call sack fly, walk off, how would you say that, the other day, I literally cried, and I'm like, I love this team too much. I need to take a break from the Yankees. Like, it's affecting my emotional state. Like, but I was so happy for him that I like teared up. I had like a few tears because the night before, Boone was getting shit and Escarra was getting shit because he, I think he struck out in that. Y'all help me out in the chat. I can't remember. It was oh my God, please, y'all, do you remember? Everybody was, oh shit. Okay. Everybody was talking, Boone, why did you send Escarra up? You should have pinch hit.
Oh, yes.
Somebody.
Oh, yeah.
And then when they asked Boone after the game, he was like, well, I wasn't expecting Escarra. I think maybe he grounded into a double play. God, I can't remember. I've slept since then, but yeah. And then the next night, the next game, Escarra is the hero. So it was like an immediate redemption for Escarra, who, again, similarly to Cabrera, is kind of part of a heart of this team. His story, we all love it. He's a nice guy. We all love that. And he comes in every day with joy and smiling and grateful. And he's playing for league minimum. He's over the moon about it. You know what I mean? Like these kinds of stories. And JC Escarra is one of those guys. So to see him have that walk-off hit, sack, whatever, was amazing. So I want to say shout out to JC Escarra. Super happy for him. That was an awesome moment.
But before Erica goes, I just want to say that JC Escarra has entered this realm or this land of great Yankees backup catchers. There's something about backup catchers with the New York Yankees that they win over the fan base. J.C. Escara, perfect example. John Flaherty, perfect example. Jim Leritz, perfect example. There's been so many backup
Austin Romine.
catchers. Austin Romine, Higashioka, so many backup catchers that have won the Yankees fans' heart, and J.C. Escara has now entered into that conversation. Francisco Cervelli also for a couple of seasons as well. He was a fan favorite, right? And now that's what we're seeing with J.C. Escara. So thank you for bringing that up, Grace. Go ahead, Erica.
Yeah, just to touch on JC, man, he's another guy very much like Cabrera, where he's just smiling at every point of this ride that he's on. He's a very positive dude. Just meeting him at Mama D's, like it couldn't happen to a better person. And I was watching the games with my cousin, and she's very emotional and impulsive and just says whatever. And she's like, "This guy sucks, blah blah blah." And I'm just like, "What?" And then he goes on and gets 2 hits against the A's that game. And I'm like, "I thought he sucked. What happened?" She's like, "Oh." And I was like, yeah, he just doesn't play that much. So like when you do see him, it's a sample size, and if he doesn't get a hit, you're just like, oh, see, he sucks. But no, man, shout out to JC Escara. It's like a super cool dude. What I wanted to bring up is I know we come on here and we critique Boone and just very meticulous about everything that he does. But I would hate to be Boone when it comes to Stanton coming back. I really do not know what this team is going to do and how they're going to navigate this and how they're going to navigate Ben Rice. And having a guy, I mean, honestly, JC Escar is really in this conversation too, because do you make Ben Rice a catcher? You can't take Goldschmidt out of the lineup. You know what I mean? Like, what are we going to do? And there's a lot of question marks regarding Stanton, because is he going to be the same guy? He's very streaky. I know that we're remembering Stanton in the playoffs where this guy was on God mode, but he's a streaky player. Are his 2 elbows going to affect, his offensive production? I just would not want to be Boone right now. I really don't know what they're going to do with Ben Rice. You can't, what he's doing is phenomenal, but again, how do you navigate that? How do you take a guy like Stanton out of a lineup knowing the caliber of a player that he is? It's just, yeah, I don't have the answer. It just keeps going through my mind, and I'm just like, I don't know how they're going to handle this. Do you guys have any insight, like what you would do? It's just, I wish he knew how to play third base. I really do.
I'll let Ace go. I'll let Grace go first. Shout out to my guy AO Productions in the chat. I'll let Grace go first before I chime in. Go ahead, Grace.
I don't know what they're going to do. It's probably going to be a lefty-righty platoon situation with Rice and Stanton. I told Hector in private, and I've said it on the show before, I'm afraid they're going to trade Ben Rice. I don't want them to. I just feel like they're not in love with any of Ben Rice's defense. They haven't shown me, okay? Talking is one thing. Actions speak louder than words, right? They haven't shown me that they trust any of Ben Rice's defense, either at first or at catcher. I don't believe that. You know what I mean? So because of that, I'm afraid that he's on the bubble to be traded, and he's got high value. And with Stanton coming back, does that make his, I don't know. I don't want to say anything. I love Ben Rice, and I don't want him to get traded. This is just my fear. But I guess a platoon situation with righty lefty with Ben and Stanton. I did hear Giancarlo say, I'll play anywhere. I'll play third. I'll play wherever the team needs. But then I think Boone came out and was like, no, we're not playing Stanton at third. So
that'd be crazy.
It would be cool.
Even if he played the field, I'd be like, no, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see him on the field at all.
I don't know. We'll all have to stay tuned.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's very interesting. It's the only thing that keeps, I don't want to say it keeps me up at night, but I do question it every day. And I really hope they don't trade him, because first base is so teachable. He is the first baseman of the future. I hope they don't fumble this bag. And I guess you would have to, if something happened to another starter, at that point you're like, your hands are tied. You have to use him as leverage. But I don't know.
Yeah. I know.
I am going to bring up a name from yesteryears, from the past, and this is what Ben Rice is. Ben Rice is our version, or could be our version of Todd Zill. When Todd Zill first came up, he was a catcher, especially out of UCLA. Then he was moved to first base, and then he was moved to third base, where he played the majority of his career at third base. If there's a way that I could think like L.I. Yankee King for 5 seconds and nobody judge me, please hear me out. He has the arm of a catcher. He can make the throw from third base to first base. If the Yankees trusted him at the hot corner at first base, taking ground balls from Anthony Volpe, who was throwing the ball in the dirt, if they trust him last year, why not just give him a shot at third base right now, especially with Oswaldo Cabrera going to be done most likely for the rest of this season, right? Knock on wood, hopefully Oswaldo come back. But if I can think like L.I. Yankee King and nobody judge me, I would like to see the Yankees roll the dice and see what they have with Ben Rice, especially like you said, Erica, you got Stanton coming back, right? The worst that could happen is Ben Rice has a horrible week at third base and he makes a bunch of errors, and then you have to make a decision that's going to be a lot harder than you want to.
What I want to say, Heck, is I'm not judging you. But
here's
I'm
a
like,
judgment.
No, I'm not. if the Yankees are gonna do that, they need to do it now, not later when Stanton comes back. Go ahead and give him run now. Give him reps now. Let him try. If they're going to do that, I don't want to see them experiment with that in September, okay? Or even August. Like, that's too late. Don't throw him out there in that situation. So, see, I'm not judging you at all. I was just adding to your
Thank you. I appreciate that. And Theo Nosebleed section says, Rice to third base would be a spring training project, not in an MLB season. I see what you're saying, Theo Nosebleed, right? Love the shit out of you. But the Yankees, they rolled the dice and they put Jazz Chisholm at third base, who never played third base in his career during the MLB season when they traded for him, and Gleyber Torres didn't want to move positions. So the Yankees, they took Jazz Chisholm, who was normally a second baseman and center fielder, came up as a shortstop, and they threw him at third base in the middle of the season. So I could see it being more of a spring training project. But if you need to get a bat in the lineup, why not? The Yankees, they had Gary Sheffield play first base when we traded for Bobby Abreu, and Hideki Matsui and Gary Sheffield both got injured. And when they came back, they threw Gary Sheffield at first base when he just played third base in his career. He never was a first baseman.
Yeah, I would just say, like, I don't know if Ben Rice is, and like to Grace's point, where they don't love his defense. I know he's a catcher, but he doesn't seem to have athleticism, if that makes sense. I see him run the bases sometimes, and I'm like, why does he run like that? I think he's like pigeon-toed or both. I think it's pigeon-toed, and it shows out when he's running. Nothing against anybody that's pigeon-toed. I'm actually that way. But you could see it when he's running. I'm like, he doesn't look athletic. I don't know what it is. Like, he looks built.
He runs like Pete Alonso. He runs like Pete Alonso. How Pete Alonso runs.
So it's like, I don't know if that would translate at third base, but yeah, they're giving him the garbage time catching role. Just throw him at third when you're up 8 runs, hopefully Devin Williams isn't pitching,
Yeah. A Delulu Yankee fan said, I observed the same thing, Erica.
Yeah,
absolutely,
okay.
guys.
I haven't noticed that. I'll have to look.
Watch him. It's very, like, bottom, like, from hips down, he's not very athletic. I guess he's got them catcher legs, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're big tree trunk of legs, but it just doesn't move them well.
Yeah. Last week also, Baseball America, it reported, I know we talked about it on Tuesday, but Erica wasn't up here. George Lombard Jr., the 23rd ranked prospect in all of Major League Baseball, according to Baseball America. We are not trading Ben Rice, and we are not trading George Lombard Jr. We are not trading any of those guys. So stop it with all these fake trade scenarios. Real quick, what's your guys' thoughts on it? Erica, I'll start with you. What's your thoughts on George Lombard Jr. and the prospects? Should we trade him or keep him? Hug your girlfriend, not your prospect? Where you feeling?
Man, I don't know. He's got the stuff to be a everyday shortstop. He reminds me of Carlos Correa so much. He's got an arm too. I mean, he could also be the third baseman in the future, if they slot him over there. Because Volpe, I don't think, has the arm to stay at shortstop for long term. He does have range, but he doesn't have the arm strength. I don't know, man. We just ride it out. Is he tradable? I think, again, back to my point, if another starter goes down, like a premier starter, you gotta leverage what you got. But or do you just or do the Yankees just say, hey, like this is just not the year, and we're just gonna capitalize when we have our boy Cole, Freed, Rodon back to back to back, Keel, I forgot. Oh my god. So
King.
oh yeah, he'll be a Yankee next
Ding.
season. I really don't know. I also haven't been paying attention. How's he been doing in Somerset? Do you have any stats?
I'll pull it up right now. He killed it in Hudson Valley. I'll put it up right now. Go ahead, Grace. I'll let you chime in real quick.
Y'all know how I feel. None of the prospects are off the table for me if the right trade package is put together. I wouldn't trade. I mean, it would take a lot for me to want to trade George Lombard Jr. at this point. But if you made me an offer I couldn't refuse, I would trade him because I want to win the World Series now, right now. Not next year, year after that. I do want to win it next year. But this year, I want to win it this year. So that's just how I feel. That's just my philosophy. I know George Lombard Jr. is an amazing find, and he's rising quickly. He's our only prospect in the top 100 in that list that Hector referenced. So, he's got a lot of value to our organization. But if a team called me and made me an offer that it was like, something that we needed, like Erica said, what's the situation? Do we need to fill a hole? Does somebody else go down? And are we almost, are we at the trade deadline? So we're looking down the barrel at the postseason and we just need this one piece and it's going to put us over the top. Would I be willing to put his trade chip in? Yeah, I would. It'd have to be the right guy though. But yeah.
Right now in his first week, it's just a small sample size, 6 games. You can tell he's making adjustments. He's batting 190, right? So he's on par with like Yankee shortstops at the major league level of just barely hitting 200. So he's hitting 190 at the moment. Again, this is just 6 games, 21 at bats, but he does have a 320 on base percentage. So he still is working walks. So his on-base percentage is 130 points higher than his actual batting average, which is always a good sign. Now, if his on-base percentage was 220 with a batting average of 190, then there's some concerns, but he's still drawing walks. He got about like 4 walks in the 21 at-bats that he's in. So
why you gotta make that comment about shortstops, by the way? Anthony Volpe's creeping on 250. Like we said, that's all we need from him.
I had to throw the jab in there. Guys, we got 380. We have 385 people in the building watching us right now across all platforms. If you guys can, click the link in the bio, jump on over to YouTube, click that like button, hit that subscribe button. We are getting ready to get out of here. Guys, make sure you guys go and follow That's Baseball Erica on all social media platforms, on Instagram, on Twitter as well. Erica?
On Twitter, it's Walls of Jericho. On Twitter, it's Walls of Jericho. Ode to Chris Jericho, WWE, shout out. But yeah, it's not That's Baseball Erica on. It's That's Baseball Erica on Instagram, YouTube, and Walls of Jericho on Twitter. If you guys want to follow me.
Nice. And always, Grace Monroe. Let them know where they can find you.
What's my Twitter name? Grace Monroe TX, I think, or something.
Yes.
I don't know. Should be in the description box if you want to follow me. I tweet solely about the New York Yankees. So if you want to talk about baseball, come on over and let's hang out.
Yeah, Jason says, Grace, that shirt is fire.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Guys, we appreciate everybody for tuning in. Make sure you guys follow us on all social media platforms, on Instagram, on TikTok, on Twitter as well. On Instagram, we did good this past week, Grace. We got over 2 million views in the past awesome. The past week on Instagram. So shout out to everybody who's been tuning in and watching us. But like always, this is Yankees Morning Brew. I'm Hector.
I'm Erica.
I'm Grace Monroe.
And until Thursday, we will be back. You want to do 12 o'clock again or 11 o'clock, Grace? What's your thoughts?
I don't know. 11?
We'll figure it out. We're going to let you guys know. But until next time, guys, this is the Yankees
Morning Brew.
And we are out of here.
You fought well yesterday. Your style is unorthodox.